Hey,
What's up, guys?
what's up?
So this was kind of a long one.
Man, this is a long form episode, but it's
Yeah.
kind of whoa.
Me
I
and
think
Juan did what we would do best, just shooting the shit on this one a little bit.
You may like it, you may not, but this one's a more personal episode. This is kind of we're kind of dissecting a little bit of not only the framework of our podcast, but also maybe our own philosophical framework towards the end, right?
Indeed. So we talked about, some of the people who we were influenced the most by, some modern day, some classic, classical.
Yeah. I'm gonna add a couple more here in the intro.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna add Kafka.
Okay.
He had some very interesting stories that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then also Kurt Vonnegut.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna add him.
Some more classic.
A lot of old guys, but they had stories that I really just kind of took a lot away with. But
Juan is
anyway,
what we call a classic man.
I'm a classic man. Nah, I just think I'm very old. Terence has a more contemporary list.
Yeah.
So he's a better man than I. He's
I wouldn't say that, but
he's a lot more kept up to date. Yeah. So look out for that. I think it's interesting. Maybe you can leave a comment on whether you think.
Honestly, we were going through a bunch of stuff. I don't even remember what we were all talking about. Do you remember anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like I said, the bigger picture. We kind of like talked about some dissecting Rogan's own podcast framework and how we.
Oh yeah, and we also talked about grad school.
Grad school. How we do interviews.
Yeah.
Aspects of that, and then grad school, like the pain and gain mentality.
Mm-hmm.
The
pain and play
mentality.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
It's kind of but we talk a little bit about that, and then of course we end up at talking a little bit about Dawkins, his. But that's more about like our own internal influences and how we approach debates and how to change people's minds, the different approaches we take.
Right.
How to discuss things with people. But if that sounds interesting to you, stick around.
Yeah, guys, and make sure once again just to like, subscribe, comment, share. Follow us at Eigenbros on Twitter. Also check out the website eigenbros.com. And yeah, guys, just stay tuned.
Just don't want Kitty knocking anything over.
That darn cat. Remember that movie?
No.
Either.
3, 2, 1. Bam, 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 bam. We're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
We're back in a very off-the-cuff episode of Eigenbros.
Indeed.
Featuring Maisie Wilkins. Maisie's name. Come on, Maisie.
Yeah, I guess actually, Juan, people have been asking me what the cat's name lately.
It's Maisie.
Yeah.
It's Maisie.
I call her Maisie the Destroyer.
Maisie the Destroyer. Maisie Wilkins. Hello.
There she is.
Maisie Wilkins. I just gave her that last name. I decided it fit perfectly.
Yeah, why Wilkins?
I don't know. She looks like a Wilkins to me.
It's very random one.
It kind of is, but look at her, man. She's a great cat. We rescued her from some now. Let's just say Wilkins is the name of the place. The place we rescued her from.
I think you're making that up.
I am making that up. It's just fitting,
From the Wilkins Foundation.
From the Wilkins Foundation for lost cats. For lost and estranged kittens.
Yeah.
But
actually, now that I think of it, you're showing Maisie to the cat over there on that screen.
Yeah.
She was on the left side, so it's going to be you. They're not going to see it on the camera.
Okay, well then, you know what? Let me put her right in front of you.
Yeah, you got to show her right in front of
me. She doesn't like that, but I can hold her. Hello.
Yeah, now they'll be able to see.
Again, she is for all you cat lovers.
Yeah, she's got some claws, bro.
Yeah, she does. She's a mean one.
Anyway,
man, this week there's I don't know, there's in science news, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess there's not really a lot of science news, but
well, this podcast is going to be released 2 weeks from now, so there's going to be a lot of news that probably is going to happen since then.
You're right. But we can talk about some of the big things that are happening right now. I
Yeah,
guess.
of course.
Yeah, they're probably still relevant 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
You know what?
Maybe.
The news cycle moves too fast, so let's just let's
But it's
slow
all
it down.
good.
Let's digest. Let's digest some of the material.
Yeah.
Right? Like for instance, some people haven't even seen the Joker movie.
I haven't.
I haven't either. So
You haven't?
I haven't either.
I thought you did.
We should go watch it.
We should.
Yeah,
I really want to see it.
After my experiment, we'll find some time.
Shit, it might not be out by then.
Nah, it'll be out, man. These movies are in theaters for months.
Okay.
Maybe we can even go to the cheap one.
Yeah, we can be real cheap.
'Cause I'm a broke bastard.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but just from pure not having time. But see, and then people are moving on too fast from information, man. So let's linger on some things that are happening in the news today, like
Sure.
one of the most influential the not entertainers but interviewers of today, Mr. Rogan.
Of course.
What would you call him? The de facto, what's that guy from the Green, what's his name? I was going to say Alan Greenspan, but it's not Alan Greenspan.
So I've heard people compare to Walter Cronkite.
Cronkite,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Damn, I was thinking more of damn, who's that guy that talks like this? Come on, give it to me. You know what I'm talking about? The interview guy?
No. Larry King?
Larry King.
Okay.
But he's not as it's his Larry King-esque.
Yeah.
He's very, but in terms of like,
Larry King's still kind of relevant though. He has his own internet show too.
He does.
He has relevant guests.
He does.
He had Eric Andre. That was a hilarious one.
Oh,
I
I
saw that
literally
one.
was going to mention that one. It's awesome. He doesn't know how to deal with him.
No.
But it was really funny. I felt like they had perfect chemistry. Because Larry King was a straight man and then Eric Andre's just a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
It goes so well together.
Yeah, it's great. I think, but Rogan is on that level of seriousness as Larry King, I think.
Yeah,
because,
but he's also a comedian too, so he can kind of get away with a little bit more shit.
But for him, it's a switch.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have that. Like if a joke is if a guest is trying to make a joke, sometimes he'll like analyze it too much.
Yeah. He did a lot with the Theo Vaughn interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the jokes Theo was saying was just going right over his head. I'm like, are you a comedian, Joe? Jesus.
Yeah, like hold on. He's like, hold on, let's think about that.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean for someone to live on the north side of a tree? And he's just like trying to say somebody's
like,
shady.
I don't know, man.
He's just like, I'm trying to say they're shady, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be, but yeah, it's anyway, he's of today. There's a lot of people that complain about Rogan, and people will probably complain to us that we're too much of a Roganites because
because we follow his channel so
because
closely.
I think we follow him so closely, but
that's a plus to me because I mean that.
But he's so influential.
Yeah, exactly. I like Rogan's stuff so much. Like I just feel like he does the kind of podcast that ultimately I would love to do. Just talk about shit and get people on there that you love and are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually thinking
I wouldn't
of
use love.
Well, yeah, or just at least are interesting.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean that's kind of true because
like love is a strong word.
Yeah. Because even like people who I don't like, I even want to see on Rogan just to see their opinion on things.
Yeah. I would want to interview people I don't like. I think if I could,
you would or you wouldn't.
I would.
Yeah.
I would probably sit down with controversial figures of the day.
Who's someone that you don't like? Hot
someone
take
that
one
I don't like.
that you would want to interview.
I don't like Tucker Carlson, but I would sit down with him to talk to him, see him squirm.
That might be painful for me.
See him kind of squirm. Yeah, no, it would be painful, but it would.
He looks like he's literally just like on the verge of having like a 70 IQ. He's just got that dumb look on his face all the time.
He
looks like the dumbest man on the planet.
Looks. The only reason why I would interview him is because I remember watching a late night comedy show on Fox News back in the day. It was kind of like, do you remember Insomniac from Dave Attell back in Comedy Central in the 90s? Yeah, it was sort of like this irreverent kind of comedy show. There was a panel show that had the conservative guy and then the liberal guy and then the the sort of ombudsman was like sort of
Independent.
You could it was like an independent, and he would serve as the ombudsman, and yeah, it was kind of like this. It was kind of a funny show, but it got canceled like years down the line. But
I
anyway,
remember it though. It came on late.
You came on
so
late.
I could never watch it. I was
on super late.
Too young.
I forget the name of it now. I think it was something like Red Eye or something, something like that. But yeah, I remember stumbling on it because I used to stay up late and do homework.
Did you really?
Yeah. I'd watch it. It was 2 or 3 in the morning for me. Probably you lived in the East Coast, so
yeah.
If it was 2 or 3 in the morning for me, bro,
it's like 4 or 5 for me.
For you, dude. Yikes.
Yeah, that's too late.
But yeah, it's I remember I forgot what I was trying to say now. Damn.
Tucker
Carlson. Yes.
Yeah.
So he went on the show, and nothing like not really anything like the guy that Tucker Carlson you see today.
Really?
Yeah, I think he was a lot more nerdy.
Oh.
I remember seeing him, and I was like,
wow, he
seems
so stupid.
Who's this guy? Yeah, he was a lot. He seemed a lot more. I thought he was like a Christian kind of like, straight line kind of guy, and then now I get the impression he was just kind of like I don't know, but I don't know if it's because Trump made people this way or.
Honestly, I don't really even know much about Tucker Carlson. Just every time I see his face, I'm like, why does he look so fucking dumb?
Yeah. Anyway, I would probably interview him.
I can't get past. I don't know what he says.
What I'm trying to say is, I'd interview people that I think like that are kind of controversial and people kind of shit on because it'd be like, okay, well, what made you into this person? Like
now, why would you want to interview him?
Because for me, I'm like, what made you go to this position? Why would you want to be in this position? Why do you believe the things that you do? And if it comes down to them being bigoted, and if it's as simple as that, then okay, well then you just have all the.
He is just the classic like Trump supporter, isn't he?
He might be. Okay. I'm not sure. The thing is, I don't know.
You don't really know that much about him either?
I don't know.
Okay,
but that's what I'm saying. Like if I would have someone that it would just be like, why? I would try to be amicable. It'd be like if one of my friends, and I do know people that are Trump supporters.
Yeah, you're really good about being very respectful and
I try
good about talking to people.
I try, man.
As opposed to me, the complete asshole opposite.
I try, man. I try not to be emotional because it's it can get ugly, right?
Yeah, you can turn people off to expressing their true opinions.
Yeah, and I think it makes people defensive.
Yeah,
and combative.
And I think you kind of have like a similar interview tactic to Joe Rogan, which is why I think his podcast is so popular.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he doesn't want to be so confrontational with the guests.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these interviewers think they're asking hard-hitting questions by basically attacking the guest, which is just not really smart because then you make it so nobody wants to talk.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is a very neutral body and kind of just wants people to say their piece. Yeah. So he doesn't really inject his opinions or anything onto it, as he does sometimes, but he's good at keeping himself impartial.
Yeah.
I feel like you have that same kind of quality.
I try to impart that kind of energy, but then there's some people that I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I
have the energy.
I don't know if I would be able to go. Like, I don't think I could talk to Ann Coulter.
Oh, you don't think?
I don't think. I'm just not interested. Maybe because I know too much.
Too intense?
No, maybe because I know too much. Like the thing is, if I interviewed somebody like Tucker Carlson, who I didn't know, but I know too much about,
your bias is so much less, so you can probably take his.
So I can sort of see like, where are you coming from, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with you? Why are
You're not going to be as irritated.
Yeah.
Because it could be surprising, maybe his beliefs or something.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't say surprising.
Yeah, but your mind is not so in a place of already disgust.
Yes, I would be very combative with Ann Coulter, I think.
Because you know her positions
I know
very
her positions, and I would be kind of like just not... I wouldn't have a favorable opinion of her.
Now, what about if you could interview Trump?
Trump? Yeah, probably.
You would?
Yeah, because...
But is it just for the clout, or...?
I think so. I think I would try to approach it like Charlemagne does interviews.
Yeah.
I would try to like
basically just troll him.
Yeah, like how Charlemagne the God, if you guys know who he is, he's a radio host for The Breakfast Club, and popular morning show, and yeah, just kind of have him kind of adopt his style if I could, if anything, just not necessarily be combative, but ask the provocative questions in a way that's
gonna get his goat a little bit.
yeah. Just enough to give you clicks for sure, but then also just because I want him to kind of trap himself in some way and kind of put him in a corner so I can get the real answer out of him, so I can get his real opinion, because he seems to be a guy, everybody talks about this, but anybody who's been fired by him, they say the last thing on his mind is the last thing on his mind is the last thing someone told him.
Yeah.
So he seems to be kind of like a one-track guy, like follows the wind.
He's very easily manipulatable.
Yes.
Manipulated.
Yeah. So I think he'd be not interesting, but very controversial figure that I could probably be like, why do you believe what you believe? Like, one of those guys. But yeah, it's more science guys are a lot harder
to interview.
Yeah.
So when you say science guys, I assume you're talking about like experts in the field or what?
Yeah, I think Rogan obviously doesn't have the same approach to science guys.
It's going to be a little bit harder for him to interview science guys, I think, at a deep level. But then again, I also like that because he's kind of makes things simplified for an audience, and even I get something out of that too, because you know my style too. I like to always go over things, and I like to always look at things from as simple as point of view as possible. Yeah. So I think that it even gives me value when he interviews people like Sean Carroll or like the recent one, Dawkins. Yeah. Yeah. So it could go either way for me. I guess it's just, but then that's a little bit biased because we are science professionals, so I'm sure anybody could go more in depth in their particular profession. Yeah, but it forces. Like if I had a science guy like Sean Carroll, if I ever interviewed him, obviously I would be totally different. I would have a totally different energy or a different approach to I see.
Interviewing him.
Because he's a respectable, logical thinker.
Yeah, I would probably respect him. I probably wouldn't use curse words in front of him.
Right.
And
I think I would.
You think you would?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe,
gotta keep it real.
Maybe I'll throw a fuck in there.
Yeah.
Because I think he's cursed. He's cursed on his podcast, probably. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. But I'm vulgar. I'm crass. I'm an American. I'm an American.
But you're pretty good though, also at keeping yourself in check, curse wise.
Yeah, but I can definitely get down here. You know what I mean? I can definitely be
down with the Cretans.
Yeah, with the Cretans. Yeah, I can definitely, I'm from the gutter, man. I'm from, it's kind of hard when you go, when you visit for me, it's close family, but I'm pretty sure like if you visit extended family or just family members who are like, poor of the poor, you're kind of like, yeah, it's like, all right, we can, I can be up here or I can meet you down here.
Right.
So it's like
you got the best of both worlds.
So you kind of get that. You can probably go. For me, I'm just saying I can probably go. I can also go down here if I want to.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do that with Sean Carroll. Would you? I think you would be. I think you would be the same.
Yeah. But on camera, but the thing is, I do have levels too. I would probably be more professional with him, especially on camera. Mm. But I would definitely try to get something out of him, especially informally, if there weren't any cameras on. Because I like to try to see the more like I always try to see the human side of people and kind of get them a little bit comfortable. Yeah. Instead of having to feel like they have to be a professional all the time. Yeah. Like one guy who would be my dream guest would be Eric Weinstein. Oh, yeah. Like I feel like he would just be such a fun dude to just talk with. He would. Especially like off camera. I feel like he would get more funny and I could ask him more funnier stuff. Yeah, I think I would agree with you just because he's a guy that's not afraid to
put a filter. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't think he has. I wouldn't say afraid, but he doesn't seem to have that same filter. And I think, I don't know. Did he say this? Did he say that he was on the spectrum?
He might be. I don't know.
Did he say that? Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
I'm not sure. He could be though.
He said something along the lines of like, maybe he made a joke about it, but he was just saying how like he doesn't like. I don't think he's as filtered as people like him to be. Like he's not very. He says things that are not socially appropriate or something along those lines.
Yeah, I feel like Eric Weinstein would be fun to be drunk around.
he would. He probably would.
You could probably ask him anything and he'd have an interesting answer to it.
Yeah, because I think the episode that I heard him on, he did say some things that were a little bit, to me, kind of suspect in the sense that, like, you could, if you wanted to, you could dog him for it, be like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course.
I feel like he has interesting opinions.
Yeah, but of course, I don't know, I'm not going to crucify the guy. But yeah, anyway, it's anyway, this is sort of a dissection of Rogan in a little bit, but I think you have that aspect of the interviewing technique, which is like, trying to have people be more, how would you say, open or not vulnerable is I don't mean to say vulnerable.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Say.
Yeah, I like people to try to be as much as themselves as they possibly can.
Yeah.
I'm very opposed to well, not opposed, but I don't like to censor. I don't like to filter a lot of times.
Yeah.
I just think that people should try to be as authentically them as they possibly can. Of course, there's consequences of these things nowadays, so it's kind of like you got to really stick to it depending on what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to say some
you could say something wrong.
Stuff.
Sure. And even if you don't mean to say it racist, you could just accidentally say something racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just like people to be themselves, as much as they can and feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say fuck, hell, shit, whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. By the way, maybe this can kind of we can kind of dive into this, but there's a prevailing sense in the culture of science. Did we talk about this? Just let me know if we did. Of like puritanical kind of Puritan ethic almost in the work. It's kind of we've kind of discussed this off.
Yeah, I don't know if we discussed it on air.
Yeah, so it's to the listeners here. In science, I don't know. If you're in the sciences, please comment on this. Like, yes, this is 100% true, or no, what the hell? Why would you say that? What I'm trying to say is that there's a Puritan ethic in sciences that revolves around, like, not only work, but like you must sacrifice yourself. Work is a virtue in itself.
Yeah.
And you must sacrifice yourself, 100%. And then the second one is you have to be, how would you say, how would you say this? What would you add to that? Because I'm trying to come up with a word so you can maybe.
So you're saying like you need to put everything into your work, essentially.
It's a sort of noble. You're taking on a noble thing. You must sacrifice everything.
Right. Like science is number one, physics is number one. You need to dedicate your entire existence to it. Yeah.
There's that.
I agree, especially at the graduate level.
Yeah.
But then again, that could be a lot of PhD programs in general.
Well, that's what I mean by science. Well, I don't know, because I feel like in the sciences it may be a little bit more prevalent, because I've seen this verbalized.
Okay, I just don't know because I've never really been exposed to any other PhD programs except for physics.
No, yeah. But but I'm saying, like, just from your experience, well, yeah, because you're saying you have a very local experience.
Yeah, but the thing is, I kind of suspect it probably is a little bit crazier in physics because even the undergraduate of physics had that same atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And I never felt anything close to that when I was outside of a physics setting. Like the amount of
yeah, because I come from bio, so
yeah,
and you've done,
and I've come from like foreign language where I just literally didn't do anything but play like video games for hours in a day, which would be impossible to do in physics, So yeah, I think there is a level of rigor that is unusual.
What is she doing?
Maisie, what the hell are you doing?
Anyway,
Crazy cat.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know. I mean, speaking from my limited experience, it's been that I came from biology.
Yeah.
And even that was, you must, even then it wasn't that hardcore. It wasn't like you must sacrifice your life to this, to the, I mean, you had to put in the work, but I think it was a lot more humane in a way.
Yeah.
But anyway, this translates to the culture in a way, right? So, or the expectation of students, and you get a certain preference for a certain type of student, like sort of clean, people. If someone saw us, if like me, you and I don't look like traditional textbook physicists in a way, because I think more of the component is like because we're American. I think Americans we're very much products of our culture.
Yeah.
And I think if professors don't really, I don't know, maybe they don't like that because
they think it's not serious or something.
Yeah, because I think Americans are very cool and detached.
Yeah. We care about imagination and personality and health and looking good, and
we have I think we have a lot of other categories that we put above not work.
Right.
You know what
we're
I mean?
More holistic in our approach to bettering ourselves.
Yes.
Not just full on one type of thing.
Yeah, and I think it might not be, maybe it's uniquely American. I don't know. Maybe because we want it all, but I don't know if that's a uniquely American thing.
Maybe. I just think that balance and moderation is a universal thing that should be strived for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think too much of anything should be achieved or should be strived for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that working hard is good for a nation and everything, but like at the end of the day, this is your life, and then the individual level, you need to be enjoying your life.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the reasons even why I left grad school was the fact that, when it starts to get down to your health is deteriorating because of school, to me, that makes it not worth it anymore. That wasn't really the case for when I left, but I just really didn't see much use of it. But of course, I was getting to the point where my health was still
negative impact.
Yeah, negatively impacted. For school. But that wasn't the final straw, of course. But
no, but you saw
that was a part of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely have that. I am definitely you sacrifice a lot, but that's the point. You sacrifice.
I mean, some people think it's worth it. For me, it's not really, because I don't think the cost to benefit ratio was very satisfactory.
And I think we mentioned no pain was this mentality.
Yeah, so I was talking about my theory on the pain versus play mentality.
Yes.
So a lot of times in the academics, especially with physics, the people there are very much in the sense of the pain mentality, where it's almost a masochistic approach to you achieving higher and higher levels of achievement, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's not really a mentality that I've ever had or embodied. I've always been more of a play mentality where I achieve higher and higher levels of things that I enjoy or I like to do for fun. I don't see much use in having to cram for an exam, just to prove that I can know this thing and I answer these questions on a subject that I don't have any mastery of yet.
Yeah.
So like exams and things like that are all just kind of just BS kind of metrics to me that add a lot of damage to your health with very little return on investment. So a lot of those barriers, and the thing is with grad school and just as higher levels you go, the barriers are just nonstop. Yeah. And a lot of times the barriers are just so nonsensical. It's just artificial. Saying, it's just an artificial way to weed people out more and more.
Yeah. And
it weeds out people it rewards those who are in that pain mentality of operating. So I just didn't find that very useful. And I feel like that's a product of a lot of institutions. They just get so bogged down with trying to be able to way to make it exclusive to get people to the highest levels.
Yeah.
And they usually run on that pain mentality approach, I think.
Yeah. So what you're saying, or what we kind of the point we came to was sort of this pain filter in a way. so people that are in the institutions are the people that buy into the pain mentality because they were filtered through that.
Right. And then it just becomes more and more rampant with those kind of people because those are the ones who will go through.
Who bought into the idea.
Exactly. So then that's what it becomes.
So this is the prevalent pain. And why do you think the pain mentality is so successful?
Honestly, I think it is successful just because, it means you can endure a lot of stuff.
It means you can,
it means you can endure a lot. So, I mean, that's why it would be good. But I think the play mentality might be more rare even.
But I guess maybe, so you're saying the pain mentality, because to me, the pain mentality is successful in the sense that it's dominating institutions.
Yeah.
But the play mentality is like when I think of an icon of the play mentality would be Einstein.
Yeah, yeah.
The icon of the play mentality would be Feynman.
Right. Within the physics regime.
Within the physics regime. Yeah. These people that were sort of orthodox and to be honest, they got a lot of flack for it.
Yeah.
Especially Feynman, the most recent example, only because if you've read his books, he was kind of a guy who didn't do things in normal, traditional sense, and even somebody like Gelman talked shit about Feynman.
Yeah.
He'd be like, he doesn't brush his teeth. Or
I'm like, what a little bitch.
Talking about the guy after he's dead about doesn't brush his teeth.
Because
so petty.
Because because he, Feynman liked to question things.
Yeah.
In a way that was a little bit playful. He was kind of like, well, why do we really have to do this?
Right.
And
still nasty though.
Yeah, it's still
Brush
nasty.
Your goddamn teeth,
Brush your teeth,
Feynman.
But still, fuck Gelman too for even.
But Gelman was very judgmental.
Yeah.
He was
very, probably just really jealous. I think
maybe, but I'm not gonna bandwagon. I'm not gonna jump on him. But
yeah.
But I will say
he's still a great physicist.
He's still a great physicist. He contributed a lot, but yeah, maybe he felt like he was like Feynman was too overplayed. But
yeah.
But it's because he had such a playful mentality. He touched a lot of people in a way that was
negative.
No, in a good way.
Oh, okay.
Feynman. Like but I think physicists kind of had to like him in a way because his accomplishments were so.
Yeah, but that's why I think also the play mentality is a lot harder because I think Feynman had an advantage because he had been in play mode in physics for so long.
Yeah,
he was already so ahead of the game. It was much easier for him to survive in the pain mentality regime.
Yeah,
because he wasn't starting at the same place that a lot of people were starting on. He was already way ahead of most people by that age.
Yeah.
So I think the play mentality is successful a lot of times in an easy way when you already are so far ahead.
Yeah.
Although you can still make it, but you're going to have to buy into that pain regime for a while.
Yeah.
And you might have to put your play on the back burner in some ways.
Yeah. Because I think the pain mentality might breed a certain kind of person, right? It might breed a person that is motivated by deadlines and
I think it is, and that's a very reliable person. So the thing is, I think institutions like that because you have a reliability to you, and it means that that the people are going to do the bullshit regardless. A play person's just like, fuck this dumb shit. I'm just going to do some things that actually matter and make huge changes.
Yeah.
But it's like a more risky type of person to let into a system because. They could. You just don't know what their return on investment is going to be. Yeah,
that may. Yeah, I think you're right. There may be more risky. Like unless, of course, like you were saying, you're more trained. Like Feynman was. Feynman was kind of raised.
Well, the thing is, he could operate in the pain mentality because he was so far ahead. So the pain is lessened.
Yes. So, but he was still. But I mean, if I read his like autobiography or whatever, and it was kind of like when he was raised, he was a little bit, the way his dad, I guess, taught him how to approach physics. It was very playful, and so he carried that on his work. And so any creative sort of like I think he had one of his biggest breakthroughs sitting in a cafeteria thinking about some guy juggling a plate or spinning a plate, and he was like, that's kind of interesting. What if we looked at things this way?
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, whoa, look, let me follow through with that. Oh, this is cool. okay, whoa, what's happening here? And then, just kind of follow through. And that to me is a play mentality, because it's like, if the pain mentality is a guy who's like, oh, okay, I got to do this.
Right.
I got to answer emails. I got to,
do XYZ.
Do XYZ.
Yep.
And then
go to this conference.
Yeah, I got to, I got to, churn out this paper.
Right.
And the metric of success is you're right, is more oriented towards like doing all these.
But that is much more favorable to building an institution. You see, because it means that you're coagulating into a way where you're enhancing the institution. So the pain mentality is much more reliable, and it's like working as a seamless cog in the machine.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that institutions always promote that pain mentality, because that is basically what being a machine is like. It's like a machine, you want it to be reliable and to do the things you want it to do.
Yes.
So you don't have any kind of what do you call it? Any kind of you're not guessing if it's going to work or not.
Yes.
You just want things to work seamlessly and reliably and predictably.
Yeah.
The play one is like, it could work out, but this machine could also fuck up the whole system. So,
yes. Yes.
It's a much bigger risk.
Sometimes you need to fuck up the system.
That's true.
Right?
Sometimes
you need to rebuild something.
Right, but it's harder to see that. And a lot of people also don't have that kind of foresight either. So there's a lot of factors against the play mentality to be successful, and that's why I think a lot less of those types of people will make it through.
Yeah,
but that's why I say when you have a play mentality, the best way to do it is to build your own institution then.
Yeah, because we're overdue, man. We're overdue for an Einstein. We're overdue for one of these big brain, galaxy brain thinker guys. These playful mentality guys.
I don't know if we need it necessarily, because the thing is, when you do have an institution that's so well built up, you can make things so systematic and so regimented that the process has been so well defined. Now you can just keep making incremental steps and you'll always make progress. It just won't be a giant leap of progress. But who says you need that?
Yeah,
it might be fast enough where you're still achieving exponential, what do you call it? Discoveries and things. Because think about like Moore's law. The path of Moore's law is very easy. Like, it's a very logical, easy path. They just know that you just keep making the things smaller and smaller, and then you double computing power. Yeah, it's a very logical framework. Yeah. So that's a product of an institutional framework. So if you can do that, then it works, right? Yeah. So you don't really need an Einstein for that, maybe. So maybe that's why. Maybe this is just one of these natural things that has to occur with institutions, where once the institution's built up, pretty much the play people get so hard to get through. Now they are more attracted to go into untapped areas, and then they build up those untapped areas. Yeah. So I think all these things just kind of take care of themselves. Sure. But who knows? Yeah. No, I think you're saying they correct themselves. Yeah. If you can't get through the system, then you go to something else, right? Yeah. Like you were saying, that guy from Subway, the mathematician who won. Go. What was that guy? Yeah. I forget his name. He's a Chinese dude, I think. Mathematician, right? Yeah, and he made some big discovery or big improvement on the twin prime conjecture, and he was working at Subway. And I was saying that's probably because he didn't have to deal with all the dumb bullshit of bureaucracy and emails and all this other shit. He was literally just cutting sandwiches and doing math all day. Living the bare minimum, just playing the play mentality. He was like, I'm going to go home. Right. I'm gonna get my pay, but I'm gonna go home and do math because I want to do math. Right. Yeah. And then he solved that. I think he made that prime number sieve thing. Damn. So there you go. And then now he's got a professorship. Iconic. Yeah. There you go. Look at that, man. That's these are the play mentality guys, right? These are the guys that are just like, I'm doing this for fun. Yeah, and man. And they're like, I don't want to deal with this BS of whatever. The bureaucracy, I guess. Yeah. And I commend that. I respect it. But when you're an immigrant's child, you kind of have to. It's hard. You're expected to. I get why people have to just put up with it sometimes and just say screw it. Yeah, man. There's a lot of times you don't have luxuries to pick and choose your path, but then again, I think you do.
No, yeah, you
It's
do.
just
You
it's
definitely
just
do.
it's all
It's
in
a
what you
calculation.
really want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a calculation because there's costs and
100%.
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to really set yourself down a path that you want to do
Yeah.
and that you think is achievable.
Yeah. So if you if you're listening and you have we're giving you an ugly picture of of administration, but it's institutions, academic institutions. I mean, this isn't just academic, right? This is also big corporations. I'm sure they have. Pretty sure the only guys that play are the bigwigs, are the guys up there playing with money, right?
But even then, maybe not. Like it'll probably be like guys like Elon Musk's, because like the people who are at the top of well-established industries are probably more industry-type dudes too, because like the CEOs there, they come up way after the companies have been developed, and then they just know that these people are going to be reliable to take the company to make a consistent profit. Yeah, that's why you get all these bad ideas, like people changing the formulas of, their cookies because they want to shave off a little bit of the of the overhead or something on their company to make that small quarterly profit.
Yeah.
So those are like the industry types.
Yeah.
They don't use creativity to make a better product. They just cut corners and cut prices and cut costs and things like that to make it so they're constantly making profit. But then they make a shittier product, and things like that.
Man.
Whew. So it's always a fine balance, right? You always got to make a balance.
The idea here is that you have to, if you're an individual who's creative. I think you and I are both kind of creative mindset. We have creative. We have creative mindsets.
I'd say we're both play mentality for sure.
Both, yeah. I definitely am. I definitely am driven more by the enjoyment of things.
Like I feel like we could probably do physics all day if it was actually things that we wanted to do. But
if I didn't have to worry about bills or whatever,
dude, that'd be great.
Yeah. If I could just be like, just focus 100% of my energy on that. Dude, I don't get paid for the work that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I get paid to do one particular thing, but I don't get paid to do like research. Technically.
Yeah, technically.
I technically don't get paid to do that.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And that says a lot, I think, for...
But of course, you also get the PhD in return.
Yeah, but
so it's kind of a payment.
Yeah, it is, but to me, it's about
an investment.
It is, but I don't. To me, I think the enjoyment comes from doing the work and like solving a problem and going through a problem and being like, oh, cool, I did this from start to finish, and like, I did it all. I learned so much from this, and I learned so much about this, and I figured something out. Like, it's cool. I enjoy that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's sort of what are those external and intrinsic motivations? We're definitely more intrinsically motivated than extrinsically. Like 100%. Deadlines. Yeah, deadlines. For the record, give me anxiety. Like deadlines for me are not for you. I think you're much more chill guy.
For deadlines, I mean...
Deadlines.
But then again, I have a hard time of knowing when I have anxiety anyway in the first place. So it might give me some level of anxiety, but I just don't know it or something.
Maybe you because for me...
Because you know me, I think I have abnormal levels of anxiety.
Abnormal?
Abnormally low.
Oh, yeah. I think...
So I can never tell if I don't really even know when I have anxiety or if I have anxiety.
No, to anxiety, I mean, for me, it's a sense of urgency, but the urgency has to be directed. Like... For me, it's not a directional sense of urgency.
What do you mean?
That's what I mean by anxiety. Like,
can you explain?
So, for instance, like if I have 20 deadlines for things, this month that I got to do, then I can be like, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I got to do this, this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
But all those things in the back of my mind, I'm a little bit like, oh, damn, I have so much to do. You know? And it's like
I kind of feel that too.
Yeah, but it's but the response I get, or sort of the mental kind of my brain, the way it goes to processing it, instead of processing things rationally, meaning that I look at things. I look at these points, or I look at these dates on a calendar, not linearly, but all at once.
I do the same.
Okay.
I do the same.
Well, then,
and it feels
damn.
like you have a lot of shit to do.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well then fuck. We
I
operate
feel
on the
the
same
same.
thing.
Yeah.
But then maybe the sense of urgency is not as like for me it's I get a physiological response.
So that's where I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
Okay.
But I do feel a sense of urgency though.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me want to speed up when I see a lot of shit on the calendar.
See, that's healthy. I think that's a healthy thing. If it
You
makes
think?
if it makes you want to move, because for me, I feel immobilized by it.
Oh,
That's the
Okay.
thing. It's a weight.
I see.
It's
well,
like,
you know,
fuck.
when like we've worked together now for a long time,
Yeah,
Juan.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like with me, I just have to put on my calendar, and I
Yeah.
always have to plan the times and things.
Yes.
So I plan the time, and I make
Yeah.
sure that I'm always going to get the times done.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I need to do it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if it is healthy in some sense, because then it makes me feel like I need to just keep going faster and faster if things aren't getting done.
But that's
and it makes me kind
though.
of
Sloppy though sometimes.
Oh yeah. I think that comes with how many things you have.
Yeah, exactly.
How many things you're juggling.
Yeah,
But
if I've got too much, then I'm like, I get so fast that sometimes I'll like
miss
put
things.
my attention on something, and then I'll immediately direct to something else without finishing the one thing.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me a little bit scattered in
I
my
see.
mind.
Okay, so then you do have a sense of it. I think you're probably a level above me because for me it's
You think?
because I'm stuck at I get stuck at the level of like this is a lot.
I see.
And
just
for
like,
you
fuck.
and for so I had to learn how to like what you're saying be directional, like attack this one thing, task oriented thinking. where
Yeah,
you're just like,
yeah.
do this. Okay, I did this. What's next? This. You know, as opposed to looking at things like a mass, like a monster of things.
Very true.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten better with that now.
Yeah.
Because I've found another level of it where it's not only just the task at hand.
Mhm.
I found that for me to get things done, I have to set myself micro goals.
Oh,
So like this
okay.
is what I have done when I work out.
Mhm.
I fucking hate working out.
Yeah.
I've never really enjoyed it, but now it's kind of like almost a ritual for me.
Yeah.
And that's because I have set micro goals for myself. So what I'll do is I'll say like, okay, my first goal is to, once I need to start working out, I just say, okay, all I want to do is I just need to wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. I don't wake up now at 5 a.m. But I'll say like, I need to wake up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
No matter what, I must wake up at 7
Yeah.
a.m. And then I tell myself I don't have to work out. I don't have to do anything, but I need to wake up at 7 a.m. So then the next morning I'll say, okay, I woke up at 7 a.m. Now I have two options. I can either put on my shoes or I can go back to bed. So I say, well, I'm already up. So my next micro goal is to put on my shoes.
Yeah.
If I got my shoes on, then I might as well just get in the car.
Yeah.
I don't have to go work out, but I at least need to get in the car.
Yeah.
And then I just do this incrementally till where I can finally start getting consistent.
Mhm.
Some days you'll go back, sometimes you'll go forward, but when you just keep making yourself do these micro goals that make it seem like very small wins, it makes it so I feel like I can actually do these things, and then it piles up
Yeah.
and kind of goes.
And that's called biohacking, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
No, I love how millennials have to now
Call it something cool.
call it something cool when it's literally just having like how to generate willpower for things.
Yeah.
But
And
willpower is hard to get, man. I mean,
it
especially with
is.
this day and age when everything's so instantaneous and you can just be so lazy.
Yes.
You got to really actively do it. But I mean, that's the human condition. We're meant to
Yeah.
be moving and doing things.
Yeah, it's kind of it's very strange. I don't know. Yeah, I think in today's day and age, I don't know if we're there's this psychological phenomenon called like the paradox of choice.
Yeah.
And have you heard of this?
Yeah, where you're overwhelmed by the choices.
Yeah, and it's
So it actually incapacitates you.
and that's how I feel about by tasks sometimes. Like if it choices, I like having choices, but if I have too many choices, for instance, when this happens to me a lot, especially when I wait too long to eat and I'm hungry. So whenever I wait too long to eat and I'm hungry, I'm like, oh, I could eat anything. But then I'm like, what do I really want to eat? And I'm like, well, I don't feel like having this, but then maybe I could also eat that. So it's like this. I reach an impasse, but it's the paradox of choice.
see.
It's like, but if I plan ahead of time before I'm hungry what to eat,
Yeah.
I'm more like, okay, I said I was going to eat this, so I'm going to eat this. And it makes it to where like I'm a lot more, how would you say, like
You're
I've
less
already made
paralyzed
that
by the choice.
Yeah, I already made the decision beforehand when I had the willpower.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I'm sitting with no willpower, I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I want food.
Right. So I usually don't have that much food in the house, so I don't have many options.
but then that makes life easier in a way because but this kind of translates to in a grand picture of life. I think maybe being more successful might be there's some, there's always, pretty sure you're kind of an entrepreneur now. What would you say? Like, I'm pretty sure you digest a lot of material that's like 12 rules for for successful
every day, man. Gary Vee is probably the greatest inspiration for me for entrepreneurship because I feel like he gives me the most value of anyone. It's actually not, but his abstract stuff doesn't really give me much value.
Yeah.
But his practical tips always give me massive value, better than anybody.
So how would you, like for instance, the task-oriented thinking, that's something for me that I was
the micro goals?
Yeah, well, I haven't really done micro goals. Like, in a way, I've done it in like, I know about micro goals. To me, I've used it as a tool, but it's not my default state of being. My default state of being is just kind of go with the flow kind of guy.
Here.
I'm not really a guy who's like, I'm a play guy, man. I like to do whatever I feel like doing, and it's.
I feel like we're the same though. Juan.
He's in the pod.
Yeah,
man.
I'm definitely. I would much prefer go with the flow, but the thing is, I see that I want to be an entrepreneur, and I have I think I have more of an investment of being an entrepreneur than you do. It's just because I feel like that's what I have to do since I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in this crossroads where now I'm like, if I can't make it in academia and I can't make it in a job, then my really only option is entrepreneurship.
No, you can make it in a job, but you don't want to.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to do it. So I feel like I got to really clean up my, I really got to work on all my weaknesses, and that's my biggest weaknesses are being organized. Being very practical in my steps on building businesses and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm very ideas and theorems and things come extremely easily and naturally to me, but actually being consistent, I always am trying to practice being consistent at things because that is one of my hardest things to do.
You're a natural mathematician, man. Because mathematicians have this saying, if you figure out an idea, if you prove something, you have a proof of concept in your mind, you're like, oh, all right.
Then you don't care about it anymore.
The rest is just
trivial
manual labor. It's trivial.
Exactly. And that's the part I need to stop. That's what I'm always trying to undo now. I need to actually stop just solving the theory and then being uninterested. I need to start putting things into action more and more. And that's what I'm constantly trying to work on because I think that's one of my biggest weaknesses is actually trying to do that. Yeah.
Then I can see why you made it this far into physics, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's such a, because we have a lot of that, right? We have a lot of, it's proof of concept. You figure it out. You're like, okay, that's cool. All right, on to the next thing.
But you see, when we do homework, I do the whole thing.
Yeah,
from start to finish.
You like to build the scaffolding.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah. Which is something that not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Which is good. You need that for like really understanding the framework of certain things, and it's just what's I gonna say? No, I commend that 100%. Like I can operate on the, I kind of get by sometimes on like, and it kind of bothers me because a lot of people that I see that are successful in terms of grades, right? They're
straight memory.
A lot of them do operate on like just remembering and okay. You do need to remember certain things, but I would say accepting things is probably the more important thing. Like accepting certain things and taking it for granted. And when it comes to, sometimes for me, when it comes to tests, like the biggest differentiator between me and someone else who, say a student who got an A, I would go talk to him and be like, hey, how did you get a perfect score? And they're like, typically the answer is, I just wrote down pretty much whatever kind of came to my mind. But the thing is with me, I'm pretty sure you have the same mentality. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't write something down that I don't believe, that I don't
Same.
100% am happy or convinced with, and
Well-
I have to work through things. Be like, does this hold? I have to look at every statement I make as like a sentence,
Mm-hmm.
being like, I'm saying this is true, and I can't just write something down with a good conscience.
For me, I can write it down.
I can write something down I don't believe.
No, I'm saying, yeah, we
But
can.
you know what? But you know what happens is
Yeah.
it's always wrong. 'Cause I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to be like the other kids and memorize
Okay.
this thing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
write something down that it's just like.
I mean, you
by
can't come out of
this,
left field.
And then what happens is I always fuck up, and then I assume something wrong because I didn't
Yeah.
understand it. So I
Oh,
know
okay.
that for me, this just does not work.
Mhm.
My brain will only work if I understand it, and if I
Yeah.
can't just pull it out of a hat. Because every time I've tried to do that, it's always failed me in a bad way.
Yeah. It's but that's one thing that I saw recently. Like a student that I went up to was like, "How the hell did you said you
Yeah.
know we were talking about the problem after the exam, and I was like,
Mhm.
how did you get this grade?" I was like, this doesn't make any sense. He was like, I don't know, man. I literally just wrote down this, and I was like, okay, I think you and I were totally operating on different mindsets,
Yeah.
and like, and I was like, yeah, because for me, I just don't like to bullshit, and he was like, hey, man, I'm here for the points, baby. Like, I just wrote down whatever.
Hey, man, if I could do it for the points, I would do it just so I could just say fuck off with these stupid exams. But
yeah.
for me, it's not even impossible. I don't know how to
Yeah.
do it. It's
Yeah.
always failed me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I guess my only option is to actually just
Yeah.
study my ass off.
One of my good friends, actually, Ricky, he was on the pod.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah,
He's
I can
one of
see
those.
that.
He's one of those test taking guys
Yeah.
that even in high school, we went to high school together,
Mhm.
and I like hated him for it because this guy.
Yeah, it always makes you envious. You're like, you fucking guys.
I was like, what the hell? Like, how did
I don't know
you?
how you get it.
Yeah, because for me, I'd study. I'd be like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
get the best grade in this class,
Mhm.
and then I'd be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna study for this. I'm gonna do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Come test time, hey, so and so did really well, and then I'd look over at him and I was like, did you even study? He was like, nah, man, half asleep. Nah, man, I don't know. I just kind of wrote down whatever. I was like, what the fuck, man? Fuck you, man. But yeah, it's there are certain people that operate on a different mindset about
Mhm.
certain things. I'm like, how do you? Maybe I'm too conscientious, I guess.
I think it's just different brains, man. Different
Yeah.
ways of thinking.
Mhm.
Everybody's got different ways of thinking.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
man.
We're sitting at 55 minutes.
Oh, we
Should
are?
wrap it up?
Damn, nah, man. We didn't even talk about the main thing, man. Real quick, what did you think about Dawkins?
That's pretty much to wrap by now.
What do you think? 5 minutes, man. Give me
Okay.
some Dawkins.
You want to talk about the Joe Rogan Dawkins?
Yeah, I'm gonna give my quick take.
Okay, so I think Dawkins is getting old. I think he's still got his thing going on,
Mhm.
but I feel like he's kind of bored now of doing it.
Yeah, he is. He's not even a bio. He's not even he doesn't really talk about biology anymore.
No.
People associate
He's full
him,
atheist now.
People associate him with like anti-religion
Yeah.
instead of his discipline.
I'm very much a Dawkins-like atheist, I think.
Mhm.
Very asshole-ish in my
Oh, okay.
in my
But it's your upbringing.
no, it's not.
That made you that way, right?
No,
No,
it's
I
my
thought
own
you were
decision.
Christian.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
But I mean, I take a Dawkins-like approach to talking about religion
yeah,
because I think it's too damaging to our intellectual infrastructures
Mhm.
to let people just go along believing in certain things without being challenged ever. And I only do this as a way to add variety. And what I mean by that is I feel like most people are nice. Most people are very nice about people's beliefs
Mhm.
and they respect them and they are very cool about saying like,
Yeah.
I respect your religious beliefs and all that. And I think that's great. You know, that's like a very nice way to be.
Mhm.
And you should be like that, honestly. But I feel like I need to be that bad guy in a sense. I kind of make
Yeah.
myself a villain in that sense that everybody has
Yeah.
their cause, right? Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
care more about things like, let's say, ethics. There's always that, SJW that gives a lot of thought to like racial things,
Yeah,
or
like
let's say
Martin Luther
like
King, right?
yeah, sure, or like Martin Luther King would be an example of someone who cares about those things like that.
Yeah.
For me, I'm an intellectual. I would see myself as someone who's an intellectual, maybe not an authority. I guess, yeah, I'm an intellectual authority in some circles, but I am a person who cares very much about intellectual things.
Okay.
So it's kind of my battle to fight. So I have to not be nice all the time when people say something about how religion is the same as science, or they'll say like evolution is just a theory. I can't just let that go, because that kind of thing can be something that is pervasive in our systems of education, politics, and then that damages us for the long term. That sets humanity back.
Yeah.
So I feel like since that is my domain, it is my responsibility to have to be that villain sometimes.
Yeah, so
and that's what I think Dawkins has to be, although I think Dawkins is a little bit maybe not aware or less genuine about his response to that. He kind of thinks that he's being nice and doesn't that it's acknowledged.
He's
that.
like, I'm not hardcore.
Yeah, but he is kind of a villain, but he's so steeped in the logic of it, he's not looking at it from an emotional perspective.
Yeah.
So I think his understanding of emotion is maybe not as developed.
Yeah.
I feel like I have enough of a developed emotion to know that I am being kind of a villain when I do that. But at the end of the day, it's still all love, but I have to be tough love sometimes.
Yeah, you're saying you're being inharmonious or discordant in a way.
On purpose.
On purpose.
But I don't like to be discordant, honestly. I like to have harmony. I like everybody to feel good about things.
Yeah.
But it is my battle, so I have
feel
to
it's
be
your
kind of the
duty,
douche
Yeah.
when it comes to religious things.
So you're saying somebody has to do it. 30 work.
Exactly.
30 jobs with Mike
I have to
Rowe.
provide the variety because most people are nice.
Yeah.
And then also because most people don't have as much of an opinion on it. I base a lot of my identity on being able to freely speak and to challenge ideas and to be able to debate topics.
Yeah.
And this kind of thing is very important to me, so I have to do that.
Yeah. This wraps into I think we kind of had something similar along the lines of that the anti-vax vaccination with this time it's personal episode. I think it's episode 5.
That's one of our real old ones
real
before
old
video.
Episodes. Yeah. One of our real old episodes. And you kind of discussed that bad guy. You had to take a position on something that's very personal.
Right.
And
with my aunt and uncle who are anti-vax people.
Yeah. So
and I had to be the asshole because I'm the only one who will do it.
Yeah, and so man, that's tough, man.
I think
Someone's
sometimes
be the
in
bad
life
guy.
you've got to be that guy. It's like Eric Weinstein talks about everybody has their roles. We have our own ways of. We have to do the things that we're kind of built to do. I'm that guy who has to be that intellectual douchebag sometimes because. I can't just let you not be challenged at all.
Yeah.
You have to have your beliefs challenged.
Yeah.
Just like you can't let people just be racist, you have to challenge their beliefs on that.
Yeah.
So everybody has their responsibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's I don't know. It's kind of weird because I don't know. You're right. Everybody has their thing. Everybody has the thing that they stand up for.
I just feel like a piece on the chessboard.
Yeah.
I'm just a piece on the chessboard. Whatever my moves are, that's my moves.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's probably something along the lines of politics. I don't think I'm as I'm not as how would you say, confrontational. My methodology is different.
Yes.
But I think my approach is the same, or like my
similar.
No. My motivation is the same.
Yeah.
But my methodology is different.
Yeah. Because I know you care about logic and truth a lot too.
Yeah.
But you just tend to not be as much of a ruffler of feathers, we'll say.
No, but I do put people in the corners sometimes.
Okay.
So
but I feel like you do it in a more in a nicer way usually.
It can make people feel awkward.
Okay.
It can make it can make people not like me. I've asked things to be, or I've asked certain things that made me probably made people think that maybe I was like kind of like
arrogant,
inconsiderate or arrogant, or maybe like too, I don't know, like I was being
too harsh.
No, not too harsh, but just like they could see, or maybe manipulative in some way that I can, the way I can probe certain topics and kind of put people in the corner, it can kind of make people defensive.
I see.
But nonetheless, it's for me, it's like I'm holding up a mirror to the person sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not really being like, hey, I'm the opposition. Because sometimes I'm like, I try to just point out where their logic will lead them instead of instead of just being confrontational in a way. Because like there are two approaches to this. If you're like Dawkins, you there's two approaches to all this, and I think one time I kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but one of my buddies, he I don't know, he was kind of Christian when he came into college, and I remember he would always ask me questions, and I would just talk to him, and I would ask him questions, he would ask me questions, and we would just kind of just talk, and then. Of course, not of course, but for me, I wasn't really raised in a religious household, and I'm more of a pantheistic in a way. Like I'm apathetic. I'm apathetic to the question of God.
I see.
So it's like, well, if it, like, I don't know, if it does exist, like, to me, if a God existed, it would be obviously if you do what is it? There's a game theory. Somebody did a real basic game theory chart. I think it was some Greek guy, Aristotle, one of these guys. They said it's probably better to believe in God and not go to hell than to not believe in God. Yeah, they did that whole calculation, right. and I was like, yeah, maybe, or just not care. And then
yes, I don't even agree with that, because if you believe in God, you still have requirements to fulfill that belief.
Yes,
like praying every time,
Yeah, but a lot of the time
something happens.
But I'm not gonna.
You're wasting life, because you still have to. It depends what you mean, because I think it's wasting time, because then it means that you're artificially inhibiting yourself, because now your framework on the universe is saying that you believe in God, and then that means that all of those answers have to come from God. You're also using all your Sundays to go to church, so there are going to be consequences, real life consequences.
Yeah, but if you forgive, like say for instance, if you come whatever to, let's say if God presents himself, at that point, I have no choice but to be like, I am confronted with the existence of God. Say for instance, theoretically, God makes himself present, and I'm like, okay, God exists. Then obviously the only logical choice to make is say, okay, I follow the word of God. Then period. End. Finito.
Yeah.
Then that's it. But the thing is, right now there's no clear. I have to live my life according to what I know.
Yeah.
Right now. So yeah, it's just it's just I think I'm operating. God would forgive me if I'm operating on a very limited framework.
That's what you think. You're going to hell, Juan.
He's unforgiving.
Just like the rest of us heathens.
Yeah. Nah, but yeah, I agree with you. He's kind of lost it. He's kind of.
I think he just is tired. Because he didn't seem as compelling as I've normally seen Dawkins. I think he's starting to, like, Dawkins, for me, was an intellectual authority for a long time. And I feel like now the new guys are coming up. It's the Jordan Petersons, it's the Eric Weinsteins, it's the Sam Harrises now. It's their time. And I feel like Dawkins is kind of like, he's kind of going to rest now. Yeah, he still looks good though, but
but these he just doesn't care as much. Some of these new guys are being sort of new religion in a way, right?
What do you mean?
Like the Peterson guys and
Like but I'm saying these are new intellectual authorities.
Oh, you're saying
not necessarily the fight for religion.
Right.
Yeah, because Jordan Peterson is a Christian. He claims Christianity. I think Ben Shapiro is Jewish.
Yes.
Weinstein's Jewish.
Well,
I don't know how much of a
practicing.
I think he practices in the sense of like a cultural Jewish guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know necessarily about belief.
Yeah.
Sam Harris, I'm not sure what he is. Oh, atheist.
He's an atheist. Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure.
So I guess maybe Sam Harris would be the replacement of Dawkins for this day
for
and
this
age.
generation. Yeah. It's he's kind of come and gone, but
I don't like Sam Harris really that much, though, honestly.
I mean, he's cool, but like I always fall asleep every time he talks.
Yeah, I
And
think
like he says things in such a way that is just like so
you know why.
overcomplicated
But you know
to me.
why? It's because we came up. At least for me, all these like IDW guys.
Yeah.
I've already seen them in one form or another. Like
Yeah.
they're reincarnations of something that I've seen.
Well, that's everyone in life.
No,
Like,
but
literally,
intellectually.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
literally every intellectual is I'm saying even any person. Any person is just a rehash of someone else because all of our ideas are based on the shoulders of giants, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, of course that's going to be. I don't think that's really a fair assessment
Sure, but
because everybody's a repeat
no,
of everyone.
I know, but I'm saying to me, none of this is. I don't see them as prominent. I guess maybe they're prominent.
It's not fair, one.
No,
It's
hold
not
on,
fair.
pause. But this is to me like new people coming into the age of whatever Zoomers or people that are in their 20s or whatever. That when I was in my 20s, I was looking for some ideological framework to be a part of or understand or live in or apply philosophy to my
It's
own
like a life philosophy.
Yeah. I was looking at people like, you know, if you look at my bookshelf, there's not everything, but
Ayn Rand.
you know, I was looking at Camus. I think I read some Ayn Rand in high school, but I read some Camus, and that's like, you know, like sort of absurdism in a way, and even postmodernists like thinkers, and yeah, you just kind of get into like I looked at people like that and sort of like, so what I'm trying to say is, you know, reincarnations of the people today, like Sam Harris is a reincarnation of Richard Dawkins, and then somebody like you know, how would you say what's his name?
Who? Guys living today?
No, Peterson would maybe be. I mean, Larry, like Rogan would be Larry King. If somebody very influential interviewer from some other heyday. But yeah, I'm saying we're already at that age where our influences, at least for me, my influence is already
set.
They're already.
You've already been influenced.
I've already been influenced. I look at these guys and I'm like, I've already heard what these guys have said. You know what I'm saying?
I can't agree. I know exactly what you're saying, I think, because you're saying that you've already built up your framework of influence from these prominent philosophers and things like that from what you've read.
Yeah.
I can't agree, but
I'm
also
saying,
I don't think I've read probably as much philosophy as you have. But
I was desperate, man. I was fiending for some meaning in life.
I'm not really a reader. I'm not really a big reader. So I like more watching people speak.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't think I'll ever be not influenced by someone. I feel like guys like Jordan Peterson and Eric Weinstein give me a lot of value, and they say things that I have not heard in new forms and things that are interesting and relevant to the 21st century that I don't think guys and gals from the past could ever relate to, really.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, if you haven't, I can understand why they're prominent, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like they don't like. There's like Ayn Rand does not have philosophy on Twitter and things like that.
No, yeah, but I'm pretty sure I could find, like, I could go through some her philosophy of objectivism or whatever. Like, if I could probably find objectivist thinkers that think something of
that's
what
relevant
to do,
to
that's
it.
relevant today.
Yeah.
And you but that's the thing. You can build. What I'm trying to say is you can say what, I guess, because I'm operating already in a framework where I kind of agree with Camus in a way. I kind of stopped there because I was like, well, I kind of agree with the guy, what life means, and yeah, it's just what I'm trying to say is that you may look, for instance, there may be a new guy that comes that's a Peterson to Zoomers.
Yeah,
you know. And
he could be valuable though,
and to them. But like I'm saying,
I mean, even to me,
maybe
because the thing is, they talk
you.
about issues that are relevant to now, and they put it in a framework that is completely relevant to now.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think
you're good.
I think that I don't think I'd ever get tired of listening to these modern influential thinkers. They just provide me with something that is going to be new and fresh You know, even though it might be something that a parallel that you can draw, I just don't think it can ever be as relevant to what it is now.
Yeah.
Like people didn't know what the internet was in Aristotle's time. People don't have great arguments fleshed out for certain things that exist nowadays.
Yeah, maybe so. But I guess, I'm just trying to reiterate my point, but it's just that I mean, you're right. There's a lot of things that are derivative, and you can definitely say a lot of ideas are derivative, and it's just the spokesperson that changes.
Right.
And in this day and age, the spokespersons for personal responsibility or somebody like, I guess, I'm not familiar with Peterson's work, but I know he has a book called 12 Rules of Life, and I imagine that's a self-help book. Yeah. And like that would be somebody, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm circling a square here. I'm just kind of being reiterating shit that I've already said.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, I see what you're saying 100%, but I don't know. I don't feel the same way, especially I just feel like there's just so much you can always learn from anybody, and they can always say it in a new way that just maybe taps something in you that you didn't think about before. Yeah,
maybe I'm not giving them too much credit to themselves, because I mean they obviously have a following.
Do you have any kind of influential people that you just really admire today?
Like nowadays?
Yeah.
I think I've learned to appreciate like I don't know, it's kind of funny to say this, but like even Charlemagne.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like
I think that's completely legitimate.
Yeah, because he's kind of put a spin on things, but he's more like a guy who's just funny to me. But sometimes some
But that's okay. Like a guy who I just always love watching who's funny is Bobby Lee. He's probably a terrible person to ever follow his lifestyle. But the thing is, I feel like I get so much from him as a person. He teaches me things as a person that, it's like such an unlikely person to think you would be taught. Yeah,
that's the same thing with Charlemagne. I'm like, I learned so much from him, his wisdom of certain things, and I'm like, wow, that's because I mean, like these people have lived through shit, and then you kind of just gather the information.
And they're older than us, so they have more experience. So it's like, I feel like there's always someone to learn from.
Okay, you always have an elder. Yes,
you always have an elder.
That takeaway, yes. Until yes, my only concern with people that I guess that are coming up, if you're listening to this, and I've fallen into the trap of buying into. I guess I didn't really buy into a lot of ideas. I played with a lot of ideas. Like I played with when I was in high school, I was kind of playing with the idea of like objectivism or whatever. If I remember that's the name. And then it kind of broke down. Like, you know what I mean? Like you apply certain philosophies and you're like, there's not a one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I learned early on, obviously. But like, take time to kind of realize that you may be in a point of life, like Terence is saying, there will be new intellectual figureheads that come along that you may learn something from, that you may not necessarily be married. There might be kids out there who say, I'm a Jordan Petersonite, or whatever that means, or I'm a Sam Harrisite or something.
Sure,
because there were definitely a lot of Dawkins. I'm pretty sure Dawkins was back in our heyday.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of followers of Dawkins.
Yeah. But
that's what I was saying. I think he's kind of going away though now, and these guys like Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson are coming up. Yeah, they're taking the mantle.
Yeah. Well, not so much Peterson because he's Christian, but.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about specifically atheism, but I'm just talking about intellectual authorities in general.
Yeah, figureheads. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you say is like your top 3 intellectual or top 3 people that you admire as
intellectuals,
or not even intellectuals, but who, or let's say top 5. Who are the top 5 people on your radar right now that you like to just check on and learn from?
Fuck, I don't know if I have that many, man. I mean, Charlemagne is one. I listen to his podcast.
Would you put him at number 1, or can you rate him? You want to order
I'm going to say no order. I'm going to say no order, but
Okay,
he's
then
probably
who's
the
top
most
5?
influential. He's probably the most influential right now for
Okay.
me because he's given like a lot of interesting ideas and facts about his experiences and stuff. And I don't know. He's but it's because he focuses a lot on mental health now. And that's something that I think like our society is going to move towards. And he's kind of like at the cusp of that.
Okay.
And then I don't know. He's probably the only one I can think of in recent memory. But overall, like of all time, I definitely throw Camus in there. Albert Camus.
I'm talking about relevant now.
He's always relevant. These ideas are always relevant.
I'm talking about alive now. Who can you say that's alive that's your top 5? Surely there's got to be more than just Charlemagne.
Nah, man. There's not really that many.
Okay, so
like because I have more old dead
small.
guys. I have more old dead guys that have existed.
All right, that's fair then.
But
so then, who's your top 5 for old dead people?
Most influential, I think Albert Camus. Obviously, he's on there, and I would say, maybe. What'd I say? This guy. I don't know. I think because I delved into political philosophy, it's a little bit. I'm blurring lines a little bit. So
you're forgetting who the name is?
No. It's just more of like I don't know if this applies to philosophy, but maybe.
Well, no, anything.
Maybe okay. So maybe early on, influentially, like a huge influence early on was probably Ayn Rand. Like her works.
Yeah.
But then again, I wasn't really. I'm saying like building a philosophical framework in a way. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, because I was already kind of a science guy, I was like, okay, like she's talking about building a rational framework for operating and living and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. But then it kind of broke down with certain, of course, and you realize like, oh, not all one person has all the answers.
Right.
And it was too abject. It was too abstract. The idea of individualism was too abstract for me, and I was like, I don't know if this breaks down in certain contexts, especially in today's society. Like, we're highly social animals, and we operate on very tribal frameworks, even though we don't recognize that we like to be a part of groups and stuff,
right?
Even identity wise. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was probably a huge influence, and then I trickled in through. The thing is, I kind of digested. I took a lot from everybody. I took a lot from the thinkers that went from individual, like liberty kind of people. You talk about the fucking what's his name. I see his face, but I don't remember his name.
What does he look like?
He has a big nose.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's Sartre.
Oh,
Sartre.
Jean Paul.
Yeah, I think it's Sartre.
I've never seen his face.
I think I took a lot.
Sartre, I think.
I took
it's French.
I probably took a lot from him because his name sticks out to me. The thing is, I took ideas from a lot of people, but I only remember like the real big ones that kind of early on, obviously, like because I got introduced to Rand in high school, so it was kind of like, oh, that was huge, But then as you get older, you're kind of like, oh, I just started taking ideas in, and so I stopped with Camus, but it's because I felt like I finally found the thing that was like
that you needed.
I see. I was like, this is it, and then I finished.
Interesting.
Finito.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that. Have you had like have you had that where you're like, finito, I reached the point of conclusion to some of my
for certain works, but like with people nowadays that I follow, never, because they're always making relevant new content.
But so like grand scheme of life things, like operate, like how you live your day-to-day life.
I always feel like it's building.
Damn.
Yeah.
My man, a builder over here.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't feel like I'll ever finish.
Okay. I'm not saying I'm a finished project over here.
Yeah, but I feel like there's always something I can learn.
Yeah.
Like the top should I give you my top list?
Sure.
So my guys 100% right now, the big ones for me, Gary Vee is giant for me because he pretty much teaches me about actually being more practical and doing things. huge guy for me. Eric Weinstein, big in my book. Jordan Peterson's also a big guy for me too. I'm a little bit less so now, just because I haven't been following his content so much.
I think he's like dealing with a drug addiction. Or
is he still doing it?
I don't know, man. I think his wife is like dealing with some.
His wife, I think, had cancer or something.
Yeah, man, it's rough.
Yeah, I know. But Jordan Peterson's a big one. Who else? Really, those are the main guys. Of course, I like Bobby Lee too. He's a huge one for me. Just because Bobby Lee's a weird one too to put in that list.
Yeah.
And
but
I can explain why.
Like that, man.
Yeah, because Bobby Lee, I think he's just such a genuine character.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the most like honest people I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He just completely says anything and everything that is on his mind, and you never feel like he's ever disingenuous. Like even with the most heinous shit. And you're just like, damn, how can he fucking say this? And he just never holds back. So Bobby Lee's a huge one to me. I wish I strive to have that level of honesty.
Yeah.
And then those are probably the main people on my list nowadays. Those are all relevant to now.
Yeah.
Oh, David Goggins is also huge for me too.
David Goggins?
Yeah. So David Goggins,
that's a new one.
You don't know him?
No, dude.
David Goggins is the Navy SEAL who basically did SEAL training like 3 times in a row. He also ran like 100 miles every week for like 8 weeks in a row. He's just like a machine, a living Terminator. He basically is just this guy who pushes himself to the brink of destruction all the time as much as possible. If you want to talk about the pain mentality, this guy is the fucking physical embodiment of the pain mentality.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to add somebody to that list.
What?
Z's.
I'm sorry?
No, Z's. Do you know Z's?
No.
Z's the Z's mode guy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Zizmo, are you trolling?
Z's mode. Do you know Z's mode?
No. What the hell is
Damn
that?
It. I hope you can add this in post, but Google Z's mode.
Is this a troll one?
Put this on. No, I don't know. It's because you're bringing up guys that are talking about like like life motivator guys.
Yeah.
And like he was one of the guys.
Like Ty Lopez. You fucking troll.
No,
Here in my garage.
No, this guy. Yeah. No, this guy was he was a bodybuilder, and he was like, you have to build yourself, you have to sculpt yourself, and that kind of did change. But then again, it's kind of a derivative because like what were these Greek guys that were like, your body's the temple and whatnot, but there was, I'm kind of half-heartedly joking about it, but he definitely motivated me to get into fitness. Even though it was kind of ironically, I took something away from it. Like,
with Goggins, I don't even really get much about his fitness. I don't really care so much about his fitness, but his mentality. But it was his mentality is a mentality of a person who takes himself to the nth degree in every aspect. Yeah. So really, it's all about his mental fortitude for me.
Like people looked at Schwarzenegger for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like back in the day, or like, even though he's a fictional character, Rocky. Some people have him as like a life kind of. I want to be Rocky.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we're getting down to the wire though, so let's wrap it up.
2 hours. Yeah, brother.
About an hour and a half. So right, we don't want the whole podcast dumped. So let's go ahead and end her.
All right, y'all. Leave your influencers. Leave.
Yeah, who motivates you? Do you agree with me and Juan's list, or
probably not? I'll probably get a lot of hate for my list, especially my
Ayn Rand.
Yeah, but she's controversial, man.
Yeah. She's a little bit of edgelord.
She's very controversial. I mean, it makes sense, bro. I was a teenager. Just forgive me. I was a teenager. I didn't know any better. I was learning.
You gotta give some updated people one.
Oh, I definitely gotta pick up the lists. I gotta. You know what? Let's swap Rand with Charlemagne. I'll put Charlemagne.
Okay. But you got Charlemagne on the list, so.
Yeah. Charlemagne the God, by the way. Not the actual.
That's the only relevant guy you got on there right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But he's good.
Right. Anyway, guys, leave us your list, and we'll see ya.
Peace.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show? To end the show? To end the show? To end the show? To end the show?